Hello and good evening, one and all, to the fourth round of the GT3 festival. A change of voice from the usual Johnny Ashley, bringing you the pictures this evening. You have the deep dose of tones of Aidan for this Monday evening's worth of racing for the fourth round here at Portimao. In the comments with me, it remains unchanged, however. Ben, hi, it's been a while.
Good evening. Yes, literally no one has ever described you as deep or dulcet. It is good to be back for another week here in the GT3 festival. One of my favourite tracks, the Algarve International Circuit at Portimao. It's familiar to those of us who started our sim racing life on Raceroom as being one of the tracks you set about 250 million laps on. So it's good to see it back in circulation.
It is indeed, and we are just going to qualifying. Cars are just about to, well, are out and about in a minute. Currently on an outlap are the majority of them. Will stick with, we are following as we try to get everything up and working again. We will indeed. Probably Petter Genelec going for his first flying lap. We'll stick with him as he goes down into turn one. Very undulating circuit. Oh, that's a lot of curb. He went airborne.
Yeah. Dives for it. It's basically a triple apex turn, this. It's sort of down as 3 corners. It's really one long turn.
Yeah. Gets
it over to the right for the uphill chicane. Very easy to unbalance the car going out of that crest and lose the rear end, which I imagine we will see someone manage to do this evening.
Indeed, I'm sure we will.
Yeah, drops down to first for the hairpin before it starts turning up through this nice right-hand section at Samsung. Used to be a big Samsung sign, and that's why the corner has that name. There used to be a big sausage curb on the inside of the turns, which the towards, but no longer there, unfortunately.
No, indeed, you'll just jump on board with him as well as he goes through the middle sector. Again, it's like a roller coaster, the circuit, up and down, going side to side as well. You don't really know where to look or where to find some kind of blind corners. Like this one here, it's a downhill right-hander for the final couple of turns. Comes up on you instantly like that.
Yeah, that turn, it's going to be an overtaking spot if people are very ambitious going into it. But it can be done.
Indeed it can. You have some tyres on coming up onto your screens now. So you did have a couple of cars setting laps prior to Petr Janlek. We'll see if what he does. He comes to the line. It's going to be up to 5th, 145.329 for now, as you see some other cars just finishing laps as well. We're going to look at Elvin Brinker's purple middle sector for Elvin as he's going through down the final turn now.
Probably a lot in that, Aston Martin. You try and hold the car in as much as possible as you go through that last apex on the downhill section of Gallup, but it does want to understeer out off the track. So it's a gamble of how much throttle you hold on the car as you try and turn it through there.
Indeed, it's 11th for him at this moment in time. Just over 10 minutes to go for this qualifying session for round 4 at Portimao. Here for the GT3 Championship, it is currently Downing leading the way in the BMW. Chris Downing, it's Alfie Bevan, Matt Townsend, Andrea Malvone, Alan Axon, Pavo, Scotty Janlek, Busken and Silver currently your top 10. However, we'll go to Alfie Bevan, who, according to my timing screen, has done a purple sector one. I'm not sure that's showing on your screens as you see it, folks.
He did do a purple sector one, but he's invalidated the lap by the looks of it.
Yeah, there's no sector 2 time registers. He's going to go again. But looking strong is Alfie. Not too far away. It's only 0.047 of a second, let's be fair. And it looks like it's going to be best of the rest at the minute in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 1st or 5th, 6th. Everyone very tightly compact together, down to P8 actually.
Applebaskard does get a lap in and gets up to P4. Anton Tomenga yet to get a lap in. He is on a fresh one.
He is. Let's see what he's doing. He's actually started a lap.
Yeah, we know he's fast in that Mustang, has yet to get a valid lap in. And from the looks of it, my guess would be that he's been running out too far at turn 1.
I would imagine so.
He got 1 lap where he's got a sector 1 time on.
We'll jump on board and see what it's like. Oh, that's a massive moment going into, well, I say massive, a definite wobble going into that double right-hander. He's just riding on board of him. You see it, he goes up the hill, he's blind, and suddenly all the corners come up to him as he goes over the crest of the hill. It'll be the same again, blind entry, puts all of his faith in the fact it will see a corner come up eventually. It's a purple middle sector.
There's a lot of bonnet and a lot of roof blocking your view in that Mustang of the of those corners as you try and turn in. It is going to be very intense for these drivers.
It is indeed. As for now, looks like he's going well. That's the wrong graphic to select.
Anton just needs to get a lap on the board.
He does. He does.
Right now, he's still showing his down in 26. It looks like a good one. It will get him up the board, and then he can focus on trying to close down that lead.
He'll be top 10.
Oh,
it's second.
P2.
I was saying it's going to be top 10, but sure. But meanwhile, Alfie, look at that, 144.898, 4/10 to the rest of the field.
And he's another one who's been pushing hard. He has a lot of invalidated laps in his efforts so far. In fact, I think his current one might be invalid already.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's not showing on as a sector time.
Yeah.
But second, third, fourth, less than 1/10 separating all of them.
Matt Holman in the chat saying that bottom bonnet sounds funny. Yeah, it does. It's true. It's true.
Saturday CDC doctor about. Doc, I got a bad case of the bottom bonnet. Alfie Beaven. Oh, I do like going down a rabbit hole. Alfie Beaven, yeah, invalid first sector, so there's no first sector time on the board for us. This is going to be a outlap, winding it up to go again.
It's a reasonably long lap as well. It's a near 2-minute lap.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
It's a long old time to take to get back round to start another one.
I'm just going to jump to replays. I think Ben Brown's had a little bit of a whoopsie. We'll just see what he's done going in. I don't know, he just pulls off. It triggered a alert for an incident. How rude. But you guys have got going again. But,
these guys are in private qualifying, of course, so they don't have to worry about traffic. But
yeah, absolutely. So they don't see each other. However, Anton Temenga, 0.1 of a second away from Alfie's best time. That's a lot of curb going into turn 4.
Yeah.
That looked like it was more of a skateboard than a car for a minute.
Yeah, he's
abandoned it.
He knew straight away that the car that he wasn't going to make time.
Yeah, he
has got time to go out again.
He does indeed. I'm sure he will. I'm just having a look up and down the order to see who's doing what. Charlie Morgan just come to line. Goes up to 19th. He's just improved there. 146.7. 146.734, should I say? I'm just getting confused between what I see on my data and the time screen. Target time is 144.898. We know that. But yes, on time is 146.734. So a substantial amount to find, but has at least a couple of more opportunities for just over 4.5 minutes to go.
I wouldn't say this is a circuit that probably suits the Aston's best characteristics. It's not the most nimble of cars,
no.
But it's a very stable, very steady. If you can find a groove in it, you're going to make time up. I suspect it's going to race better than it qualifies.
Yeah, I would imagine so, and you can see that in the first sector times, 0.4 of a second down on the lead lap. But to be fair, that season 3rd, 4th and 5th is a personal best, but now it's 0.7 down. He's now looking at the lower end of the top 10. 19th at the moment, so if he can keep it valid and neat and tidy, it may see him progress up a few positions.
Lattering across the curbs going through Sagres there, but I'm not sure that will have done much for his time, if we're honest.
No, I don't think so. He'll go down to the final turn. He may have just invalidated down entry. I'm not sure if he put all 4 wheels beyond that white line of the curb. We'll see. He's still going to put his foot in it, so it's either going to be a new lap time, a new improved lap time, or an attempt at another lap. He comes to the line, and it's not an improvement.
His best time still from his 4th lap with a 146.7.
Yeah.
He's in a position he can race from there.
Yeah.
It's far down the track, but I always maintain qualifying is not the be-all and end-all like this, because these cars are built to be able to overtake.
No, absolutely. I'm just going to go to replay. You can see Jarrett Page apparently having a bit of an accident, or is this him just being slow out the pit lane? I'm slightly disappointed if it is. We'll just stick with it and see what happens. Does he get caught up in a little incident, or does he just him rejoining the circuit pit lane? Yeah, it will be.
Yellow flag, isn't it?
Yes, how antisocial. As he's on a lap. He's actually started a lap as he rejoined live images there.
Goes up the Lagos chicane there, the uphill chicane. Straight down the long straight towards the Toro VIP hairpin. very early apex there. Has to really slow the car down to turn it out of the hairpin there. That will have cost him a lot of time. As he comes down towards Samsung. Good apex there. Up the hill, gets on the throttle. Goes down through this sweeping section named after Craig Jones, the motorcycle racer.
Mm-hmm.
Very late out in there. Sweeps it back in for a late apex.
Does indeed. Gets neat and tidy back up the hill to the last few corners. It is a personal best, but it is significantly down on the best lap time. He is the last driver to set a valid lap and get himself on the time board. And we'll see what he can do as he goes down through the penultimate turn, now the final turn. This long sweeping right-hander. Pretty much keep it flat if you're able to do so.
You can, but you don't always gain time by doing so. If you keep it flat, it tends to wash out towards the left and carry you out towards the edge of the track, and you have to compromise your line to come back in. It actually lengthens the corner. Well,
I say about gaining time on the circuit, someone who has found tires, Temenga pole position now for Temenga, who goes back to the pit lane, and it's all up to Alfie to try and challenge. He's managed to get ahead by 0.061 of a second. Scotty's not too far behind, and most notably, it is a Ford 1-2-3.
Alfie might, with a bit of luck, be able to get another lap in. It's going to be, actually, I'm not sure. It's going to be very tight if he does.
Or stick with him just to see his sparks fly on the front left as he goes through the final turn, loading that front left car and tyre of the car. Comes to the line. Is he going to get another lap? It's going to be mighty close. He will.
Goes across
a second to spare.
Death or glory for Alfie, and he has to do it on this one because there is no time on the clock. Gets it turned in tight up the Lagos chicane. Runs a bit wide onto that curb on the right, uses it to guide himself back onto track.
It's purple. Purple first sector.
Dives down the hairpin. Nice late apex there. Exactly what you want going through that hairpin.
That looked neat and tidy. We'll just see if you can keep that going for at least another few corners. He needs to keep that purple sector running. Or does he extend track limits there? I'm not entirely sure. We'll stick with the lap. We may hopefully see a second sector top up shortly. We do indeed. It's still valid, and it's purple. Scotty's not improving. They've gone back to the pit lane. It's qualifying over for number 77, and it is only Alfie Beaven here and a couple of other cars. Luke Manders on a lap will improve in the midfield if he keeps the lap tidy, and should shortly be coming to the line. It's only Alfie to go now, and it's going to be very, very close.
It's all going to be depending on this last corner. Swings it down, holds it in tight through gallop there. Lets the car run out just enough to get onto that left-hand curb. But very nice and precise through there. It's going to be close. No.
Not enough.
He invalidated in the third sector.
Oh.
Unless my timing app is not working properly. No, he didn't, but it just wasn't quite enough.
It wasn't quite enough.
Off.
Oh boy. And that, folks, is that for qualifying.
See what we say. Matt Holman's still in there. Valor, hello to you this evening. Ben22 Racing, I may be biased, but what a hateful track. You're wrong. Moving on, Habibo, I regret not practicing beforehand. This isn't a track to go in blind. It really isn't. It is a very challenging circuit.
It is indeed, as Alfie is just going winding his way around the circuit, waiting for the timer to tick down. What we will do is go through the starting order for this week's race. It's Anton Temenga taking pole from Alfie. A last lap shootout towards the end of qualifying. Angela Scott and Andrea Malvone take up the second row of the grid, and then it will be Petter Janelek, Chris Downing. Is it multi-class? It shouldn't show like that. GT3s, isn't it? It's Matt Townsend and then James Pavot. Glitch with the graphics there in the McLaren and the Ford. Dave Wood in 9th. Aidan Carter rounds up your top 10. It's Ferrari and Cadillac, row 5. Row 6, Nick Manders, Atul Bhaskar occupying the first row outside the top 10. It goes to Alan Annex and Elvin Bloomquist for row 7, 13th and 14th. 15th, Ben Brown, Mathis Fusgen in 16th. It's Ford Ferrari on row 8. Row 9, Dan Tomlinson, Charlie Morgan 17th and 18th position. Then go to row 10, 19th and 20th. Fran Doric and Zach Silver take up positions. That is a graphics glitch if I've ever seen one. Andy Hearn, Tyler Hammer is for BMW 21st and 22nd. We go down to the back end of the grid. Tim Bob, Frank Vevik, I will say that right. Row 13, Tom Toes and Jarrett Page. Tom, fellow commentator racing tonight with Jarrett Page alongside. Final row, John Cotty and Dean Smith occupy the final row of the grid. It is all GT3 tonight, folks. We're not quite sure why there's LMP2 cars showing on the screen.
A couple of people tried to sneak in an LMP2 car, but it's not worked out for GT3s anyway.
No, exactly. It's going to be an interesting race if that's the case. But I can tell you all GT3s are now on the track and we are away for the formation lap. Cars line up side by side. And
Page gets away very slowly. Tom Tosling gets away very slowly from the looks of it. There's a few guys who are dragging off the back. Frank Vevik starting from the pits.
Ooh, interesting. Right. Couple of guys opting for a pit lane start. We will start this race, however, side by side. Cars lining up to start the grid. Will go shortly green. Cold tyres is also a caution they'll have to bear in mind, not having a full formation lap, no tyre warmers for this series, nor is there any tyre warming for LMU, and we are going to go away for the green flag. We are away for 1 hour 5 minutes of the GT3 Festival. Down to the first turn we go side by side. Alfie Beavan and Anton Temenga, and on the inside it looks like Anton tries to make a move, he's not going to make it work. Alfie Beavan takes the lead into the first turn.
Gets the jump immediately. I always think that being on the outside was the better place to start there. It gave Alfie such a good run around that triple apex of the first corner, and now he's run away onto the back straight.
Absolutely in the background it looks like Andrea also looking to make a move as well, not getting it sorted as of yet.
Andrea Malvani brave enough to race the Corvette, and it's holding on to P5 there as he tries to chase down Chris Downing, who is right on the back of the Mustang, the herd of Mustangs in front of him.
Indeed it is, as we now get the graphics back up. There we go. It's Beavan, Temenga, Scotty, Downing, still forward 1, 2, 3. As things look to have settled down ever so slightly. We have had a couple of issues in the back of the field involving Dave Wood and Elvin Bloomquist potentially. We are just going to see if we can get a quick replay of that, or is this Dave Wood starting race in the is going into the second sector? It is indeed. We'll see what happens. He's on, we're just following him going into the long right-hander. Is this a yellow flag, or is he just, he's backed out for some reason, just backed out of the move for whatever reason.
That's a bit of, I'm not sure that was entirely why he's down in P24, but he's now fighting back. He has got past Dean Smith. He's now chasing after Jarrett Page.
Is indeed. I don't think that replay functions in Tony Bradley's. I think that'll just show the live images of the ongoing battle. I'll have to look into that later on maybe, but for now David 24 for looking at to try and get a position back as a car ahead of him. That is Jarrett Page, side by side. We'll stick with this actually. As they go down into the hairpin, there's a left hand here, and he's up the inside. Actually, a lot late on the brakes. Isn't he too late on the brakes? No. Yeah. Oh, never mind.
Oh, Jarrett Page just trying to light up the tyres a bit too quickly there. Spins the car around and has to. Does it safely. Very well done. Keeps it on the off the track and just now has to play catch up, unfortunately. John Cotty and Tim Bob. Oh, Tim Bob is in a bad way. He is off. He looks to be off in the car park somewhere.
Oh. Oh dear.
That is a... He's got no throttle. His engine's gone. That is Tim Bob out.
It is indeed.
That looks like he's had something gone wrong coming into the pits. John Cotty is also in the pits. Looks like he's doing repairs.
It's over in his pit box.
John Cotty's saying that's his fault.
Oh dear.
I think John Cotty's engine is gone as well.
Oopsie daisies. Well, they'll sure. Well, I said John Cotty will have to DNF from this race then, if that is the case. No. Return to pits function on LMU. If you damage your car to. Oh, that's. Oh, it's Andrew Scott in a moment, actually. We'll see what happens with them because they've got a very racy Chris Downing on their tail. It may have looked like out of turn 3, got a little bit loose in that Ford Mustang, and the BMW's hunting him down for position.
Yeah, Tim has jumped back to his pit. He will go down as a DNF here. I don't know whether John Cotty's repairing or whether he's just killed the car there.
Hopefully they'll get back out. Oh no, it's a DNF.
Yeah. It looked a bit like it. He was pressing the throttle and there was no response.
Eek.
Yep, car died. He is in the chat. John is in the chat letting us know.
Absolutely. Oh, that's interesting.
No, Tim's a mate of his and the one who gets him into these races. He might be regretting that decision right now.
Just a little bit. Maybe I had to jump on board this way. Let's look at this telemetry, shall we? I'm exploring this for the first time, folks, and I must admit, these graphics are rather entertaining.
That's a very useful graphic, so we've not had an energy reading out for the last few minutes.
No, we haven't. Of course, these GT3s do have virtual energy, but I don't think it shows on the timing tower yet, but we can see what they have when we ride them on board. But for now, it looks like it's all hunky-dory as...
yeah, they will all have fairly comparable energy at the moment. All about the 89-88% mark on their dashboards. So they will... Tim in chat, well, I nearly did a lap. Yeah. Oh! James Lapavo's down as a disqualification.
Oh!
I wonder what happened there.
Interesting. I can't see anything popping up on the alert board to say that they've been involved in this. They can't get a replay of them, sadly.
I can only assume that's an unserved drive-through.
Ooh. If that's the case, then...
Yeah. It's in...
That's track limits then, isn't it?
No, you can get one off the start if you're out of position or if you go over the speed too much. You wouldn't have managed. You'd have to be doing some fairly spectacular corner cutting to get a track limits drive through this early on in the in the race.
Absolutely, for sure. As got a few battles now piecing up. Alfie's broken away from Temenga a little bit here, so we've got about a 2-second gap now. Aidan Carter, oNiD Esports driver Aidan Carter, my twin from Alternate Universe, I'm sure, has got himself up into 6th from starting. It's going to go down as a track limit.
That will definitely get him a track limit.
I'll give him a finger wagging, but in the background he's looking vulnerable to the Ferrari. He's going to think about making a move up into turn 1.
That was a a quite brusque last-minute defence there from Aiden.
Yes, indeed. We'll jump on board with Petr Janelek. So he's got a couple of cars ahead of him. BMW ahead of him that's Chris Downing also having a bit of a moment up into turn 4 as well.
Yeah, this is turning into a big fight between these three: Ferrari versus Corvette versus BMW. And of course, this is going to let Malvoni get away for a bit and chase after Scotty.
Yeah, absolutely. See if we can get the gap between each driver. There we go. That looks like makes it a lot more easier to follow. There's a gap between second, third, and fourth, but Malvone, Carter. Well, I say Downing, Carter, and Janelek all very close together, within half a second, not even that. But so you can see there on the timing tower on the left, a cluster of cars that are fighting, and everyone else that is in a little bit of free air. But there's a bit of a train falling through the midfield, let's say.
Yeah, there's a good little fight forming between Ben Brown and Elvin Blomqvist here, right behind this fight for fifth. And they're trying to catch up at the moment, so it's going. The last thing they want to do is actually start scrapping. They want to get their feet down and chase after this pack, make it a six-way fight.
Yeah, they do. How much do they kind of think, come on now, let's work together?
Jelinek's got the run on Aiden Carter. Aiden goes to the inside to defend. Jelinek's going to have the outside line. Aiden outbrakes. Chris Downing gets on two wheels ahead of them. I know this is largely a motorcycle circuit, but you don't want to turn your BMW into one.
No, absolutely not. Not especially when you rely on all four wheels to actually make the thing work. But for now, stays. But Janelek now is under threat from the Macca behind Matt Townsend. Thinking about making a move on the inside. No, dear Lord.
Late apex. They're going to drag race down towards Sam. Turn 7. Now this is a possible overtaking spot now because they've removed that sausage curb for this game. So they come into Samsung, but Matt Townsend closes it off.
Aiden's challenging Chris Downing up ahead going into the corner. It's still challenging. Yeah. To go side by side down the hill. Left-hander coming up, blind right-hander coming up. There's contact between the two. A little bit of a love tap, and the BMW's round.
Oh, side by side for Craig Jones, and it's such a long braking zone through Portimao corner.
Oh,
that will. Chris Downing will be fuming there. Immediately DNF.
Oh, I want to get a replay of that. I want to try and get a replay of that. As we are going to go to a replay. Yes, we got it just. Oh, and that's a shunt.
Oh yeah, that will have killed the engine instantly. Oh no, it was the back end of the car. Yeah, that looked like a dead engine to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so 3 DNFs there. 3 DNFs and 1 disqualification.
It is indeed. So we will see those guys, unfortunately, out of this race. It puts us down to 25 runners. Ignoring 24 runners. It's 3 DNFs and a DQ. As we see Aiden guard for the car behind him, Matt Townsend getting very, very wide. And that will get another finger wagging from the game, I'm sure.
Aiden's being incredibly aggressive with those track limits. It's a wild race, you don't want that to come back and haunt you, but he's now at the front of this little queue, 3 seconds off the back of Andrea Malvoni.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what happens. But for now, all keeping in order. Oh, 53 minutes ago, we've had some exciting battles, haven't we? Already some interesting incidents.
Yeah, it is there's a lot going on. These drivers are pushing very, very hard.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, and it's still, we said about that battle between Aiden Carter and Chris Downing. But now, we did mention actually Ben Brown and Bloomquist, 8th and 9th fighting away.
To be honest, it looks like they're not fighting each other too hard. They're trying to catch up to this queue in front and get into the fight. But Aiden's now in the unenviable position where he's at the front of a pack of cars providing slipstream, but too far off the car in front to get any himself.
Yeah.
So he is going to have to drive incredibly defensively for the rest of this stint at this point.
That's going to be incredibly painful for him, really, isn't it?
Starting to break away, but he's gonna be in a big old chunk of space.
Yes, indeed.
4 seconds off Malvern in front.
Ooh. Yikes! So that's going to be a big gap. He's going to have to punch a hole in the air for.
Malvern's already about 2 corners ahead here.
Yeah.
That's a big old chunk around here.
It is. Absolutely so. Bascar, however, and Mattis was going to be keeping an eye on this little battle as both these drivers as well still within touching distance of each other. Also keep an eye on Charlie Wong and Dave Wood, 15th and 16th, not too far behind each other either. Things, especially for that battle of Aidan Carter, Townsend, John, like Bloomquist and everyone like that, is starting to open up a little bit. We have a little cluster of cars fighting here and there. We'll go back to Fran Doric, who's on the tail of Alan Axon, 13th, not too far behind. Actually may have a run through the final turn and get into slipstream. This will be maybe a move into turn 1.
McLaren fighting Ferrari at a European circuit. That sounds familiar.
now. But now Doric stays put. He's going to make a move in the background. Was that? No, it wasn't a move in the background. There's a couple of back markers getting out of the way. As we are getting to that point already, we're having some back markers, which is always fun.
They are. There's a few people who've just fallen off the back there. Tyler Hammer is the last person on the lead lap at the moment. But yeah, Silver, Dean Smith, Dan Tomlinson, all these guys have upped off the lead lap and are having to try and make them. I wonder if. Oh, I think Zach Silver is actually pitted. He is showing 96% virtual energy. I think he's trying at a very long range. Jarrett Page also has pitted, showing 96% energy.
Let's have a look. Yes.
Intriguing. That's a very long range under trying it.
It is.
Oh, about a minute off the lead here.
Clear air, get some good lap times in. The tyres can last easily. You can double stint these tyres quite easily.
Oh god, yeah. These are endurance tyres. They are long range. You can get away with not changing them. If you do change them, you'll find a lot of pace. Because once you go down past about the 85% mark, they do start to lose a lot of pace. Oh, big snap from Zach's over there.
That was a wobble indeed.
But yeah, they're having a close little. Him and Frank Vevik are having a close little fight on track in their own area of space. But Zach has about a 20% virtual energy advantage at the moment.
Yeah, Zach Silver, and has another pit stop as well. It was 23rd. I think Dan Tomlinson also make a pit stop as we see the information just pop up on your screen on the left side of the screen. And both Andy and Doric actually is electing to go to the pits in currently in 19th position. They are in the pits, up on the jacks since we joined them. They joined the jump back down off the jacks.
Yep, goes to full virtual energy, and will now easily be able to get to the end. It's about the outer limit of where your virtual energy can go without having to fuel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drops in right behind Vevik and Silver.
And they do. Now, I'm just going to try something.
They have to make time up because I'm not unless they do, they're not going. They're going to make some.
It's not, as we go to a replay, and I think this is just another yellow flag, and it's where they've just come out of the pit lane, which is absolutely wonderful. How very antisocial. As Dan Tomlinson electing to make a pit stop down in 23rd, one of the back ends, the 24th is behind him, actually still running. But not the very last car, but also gone into the pits and made a stop, and we'll be trying to get to the end of the race.
So the top three have checked out.
Yeah.
Malvoni's trying to keep up with them in the Corvette, but it's just not got the legs of that Mustang, and the long straight and the downhill sweeper here will really play towards that big V8 lump underneath the bonnet.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can properly stretch the legs on that thing, and in the meantime the Mustang's dancing all over the place. And Malvoni's starting to drop back towards Aidan Carter in the fellow Corvette.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, excuse me.
Making up the time.
We do have Mr. Ashley himself in the chat. Johnny sending in thanks to you.
A pleasure. It's quite interesting. I'm enjoying all my new toys here with the timing tower and everything.
And all our best to Johnny, who's having to take a night off for personal reasons. So we look forward to having you back next time.
Indeed, we do. And I happen to compromise, as I said, for my dulcet and deep tones. Yes. You love it, really, Ben.
Feels like a lie.
Yeah, you're probably right. As we said, 45 minutes to go. It's Alfie Beavan, Anton Temenga, and Angela Scotti. It's a Ford 1-2-3. Pit stop still to come, I'm sure. I don't think they can quite make an hour 5 on one virtual energy, and we'll be looking for these guys to restop again and get that virtual energy and actual fuel topped up as well.
Yeah, they will need to take about 30% virtual energy to get through to the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Pasha Genelec, this is pinned up on my timing screen, very much so. Albert Broomquist is looking to try and make a move. Getting quite close, 0.3 of a second between them. And,
has dropped Ben Brown by about 2 seconds, is Elvin.
Have indeed. Not entirely sure as to why. I can't see anything signifying an incident or a replay trigger that's come up. Then they've been off circuit or had a crash there for intensive purposes, still driving as they normally are.
No, I think he's just found a good little rhythm in that Aston.
I think so.
And is pushing hard to try and... I mean, right now he's right behind Petter as well, so he'll be getting the benefit of slipstream.
Yeah. And we'll try getting an onboard shot. There we go. What I wanted. See that Elvin's got petrol. He's also got Townsend not too far ahead either. And they're going back into fighting with Aidan Carter. 0.5 of a second between those two cars. He's got a little front row seats here for his potential next targets to overtake.
Yep, Aidan Carter. What Aidan really needs is for this lot to start fighting behind him. Because right now he is just burning fuel and saving fuel for people behind him with slipstream.
Yeah.
He needs to... He can't get clear. I think... Let's have a look on his onboard, actually. He is fighting that Corvette. It is a very... It's a car that drives on its tiptoes.
Yeah. They're all closing up to each other once more, which is always interesting to see. And Genelec and Townsend and Carter actually a lot closer than they were as of a few moments ago.
I think Aiden's doing a little bit of fuel saving. I think he's trying to stretch out his virtual energy load a bit.
Ooh.
He's at 57, he's saving about 1% more than the guys around him. So I think he is doing a little bit of fuel saving to try and give himself... I reckon he's going to wait for someone to start pitting behind him and then go for some fast laps to try and prevent the undercut.
I will agree with that. Yeah, I think that works.
We know of all people, Aiden Carter's race management is brilliant. He is very, very good at managing a race to do exactly what he wants it to do.
We say
he's not really in a winning position right here, but he's in a position to consolidate the laps around him.
I see. I'll jump aboard Matt Townsend. It looks like Aiden's eked out a little bit more of a gap again. It's interesting to see. I'm not sure if that was just Matt having a poor lap. It's 146. No, both cars actually having identical laps, to be fair. So
Aiden's still got about a 1% energy advantage. It's not much. It's not. Let's have a look. They're down to 55%. They've done 14 laps. So that's 45 divided by 15.
God.
Helps if I have a calculator to hand.
You're doing on the day mathematics. Oh God.
Yeah. So it's about a 3% per lap of virtual energy. There'll be decimal points in there, but if you can save about 3% over the cars around, that's a lap to just burn and go at max pace on.
Cool. Might be doable. We'll keep an eye on that.
The game helps you do it. It's got a setting specifically for it.
Yes.
To tell you when to lift and coast. Tell you who's got a lot. The top three all have a lot less. I don't think that it could be a position away for him to close up, but Aiden's got about a 3% fuel advantage over all the cars in front.
Interesting. Is he targeting the front end of the grid? I do wonder. That'd be fun.
Yeah, he's 15 seconds off. It's a big old ask to get that much time back over the cars in front.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, Townsend and Genelec are, I dare say, falling behind us a little bit, and that's going to be a track limit for Matt Townsend as he goes wide up through turn 5. And the
if Aiden is fuel setting, he wants these two to drop off, so he's got a bit of space to do it in.
He wants them to swabble. That's the dream scenario here for Aiden, indeed. So, yeah, get fighting, guys. I want to see racing. I want to see you do it.
Townsend and Petter have fallen off the back a bit there. There's a couple of other people in fights. Matthias Fusken is now on the back of Ben Brown, and closing on them rapidly is Athel Baskar in the McLaren. So there's a few little fights forming here. Oh, Ferrari looking very sketchy for Fusken as they came through Portimao corner there.
Look.
A lot of people taking big bites out of that curb at the apex of turn 12.
I'm noticing that too.
I've always found it upsets the car.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly the fast around, but I've always found swinging a little bit further to the right and swinging the car through the corner gets you better traction out of there. But the instinct is always to run to the apex, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Down my spine. Genek's back in the tail of Townsend again. this battle. Mathis Fiskin and Ben Brown is getting close.
Very close.
Very
Matthias
close.
looks to the inside. Ben swings
Ooh.
across to get the better line through over the crest.
And that Mustang, the Power America in that bonnet, pulling it along. And the European Ferrari, full of Italian spirits, but not quite enough to get alongside.
Not fluid of straight line there. The Ferrari's not really known for its straight line punch, but through this series of corners, Matthias is able to keep on the back of Ben. And of course, that Mustang is going to be punching a hole in the air about the size of the average street.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's, it could be on for a long here.
We'll see what he does.
It can be done. No, Ben defends right on there.
As indeed, he's thought about an over-under, but stays put and keeps on to the racing line. Does Fiskin.
Turn 12, they sweep across the inside there for turn 13. Through the Sagres hairpin and sort of hairpin. It's quite a long 180 right, and then down through Galp.
It's lifting.
Had to. If he put the throttle right in, it would have carried him clean out onto the outside track.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is closer this lap. He's made time up. He's pegging away at it bit by bit.
Oh, he's very close now through turn 1, 2, and 3. Dive at the
Ben
inside?
goes
No.
into the chicane. No, not there yet. Very defensive, and Ben closes the door.
Oh, Bloomquist is DNF'd.
Oh no! What happened there?
Come on, replay. I am going to do a little bit of a longer replay to try and get an answer. Let's see if it works. So with Bloomquist now, and this is definitely a replay, I can tell you that now. Now if it is fine in turn 1. And 2 is fine in turn 3. Oh! It's just a disconnect. From what I can tell, it's just disconnected. Nothing really's happened. He was just driving and then suddenly...
Yep. I've just figured out how to access replays on mine. That's nice.
That's... Oh dear. So you might get an answer from him if he jumps into the Twitch chat. But,
yeah, it just went straight back to pits.
That's from what we can tell. Just
what a pity. He was having a really good run.
He was.
Well.
Wasn't all. A bit annoying.
Right, let's look around for a fight. Let's see what's going on.
Let's go to a fight in cars. Zach Silver having to defend from the friend Doric here as outside line for the red McLaren, the orange and black McLaren of Zach Silver defending for his life basically. It's an over under inside line from the McLaren.
Oh, that's a good line from Doric there.
It is, and that's moved done.
It's a very nice move there. That was absolutely picked Zach's pocket there.
Did indeed. That's a fabulous move, and that's done and dusted for position. And Zach Silver can respond. It will be down into turn 1, but goes a little bit wide through the final turn. That gives the McLaren up ahead of him just a little bit more breathing space.
He might get the slipstream, but I don't think it'll be enough to really pull him down into turn 1.
I don't think so either. Now I'm just noticing the second and third getting quite close together. Beaver's checked out, 10 seconds, as Tamingo and Scotty getting a little bit close together. Who's even more close together is these two here, and also Matt Townsend and Petter Genelec, 6th and 7th. So just keep an eye on that as well. That battle was relatively close too. We'll stick with this for the moment. I don't think Zach Silver has an answer right now.
Funeral battles forming. Ben Brown is still fending off Matthias Fuskin. Nick Manders has knock his way past Apple Vascar for the final top 10 spot.
As indeed.
And Petr Jelinek is right on the back of Matt Townsend, 3 tenths between them as they go down into the first couple of corners.
Not much time between them whatsoever, and they are going to be commencing battle very shortly. Again, McLaren versus Ferrari. We'll see how that turns out. However, third and second, for a moment there, darted. The gap between them was below a second.
Yep, they're having to negotiate their way through backmarkers. Dean Smith there trying to keep out of the way. It is very difficult to get out of the way in some of these corners. There is one line for big chunks of this circuit.
Yeah. Just over half hour to go. We have had some early pit stops, but the leaders, pretty much the top 10, have yet to make a pit stop. They will have to do so. They cannot make an hour and 5 minutes last on a virtual energy tank.
Yeah, not a chance you're going to be able to fuel save enough to not pit. And I don't think anyone's really trying at this point. Before Aidan Carter might have been. Let's have a look at his fuel load. He's at 36. No, he's not massively saved fuel. He's got a couple of percentage points.
And that's so going to the pits. That's Dean Smith going into the pits.
Gets slowed, gets on the limiter.
Does indeed, as Petr, alright. That's a back marker, ignore me. Getting a little bit excited. He's maybe taking on out. It's the car just getting out of the way.
He has got a big run on Matt Townsend there. Gets across the apex at the start of the uphill chicane. Swings back over the crest. Townsend bit a little bit of dirt and lost the rear for a second there. Recovers, but that will have compromised his run down to the hairpin. And Jelinek is right in, trying to be inside the engine bay.
Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to make look free. No, that's not a thing.
Trying to make a hybrid model.
Yeah, let's go with that. As Axon also now into the pits as well. It's still on the timing tower on the timing screen. The pit stops are now coming, especially as the back end of the grid, and it is now shortly will be time for the leaders to potentially make the same moves as well. Let's just jump on board with Petr Jelinek. Let's have a run McLaren up into this left-hander later on the brakes.
It's on the inside. That was very door banging between these two GT.
It looked to get away with it though.
Yeah, I think they will have got away with maybe a little bit of body damage, but not any major hassle there.
No, exactly.
Petr was a very long way wide man turning in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, see what you can do. Aidan Carter, however.
Aidan Carter pits.
Does indeed. Down to the pits. Still has. We're actually going to jump on board. You see their virtual energy is creeping up on the right.
Yet weirdly, the Corvette turns off its bonnet. It's a dash when it's in the pits.
That's strange. Wait, and he
goes up to about 60% virtual energy.
I'll be
in fact, dead on 60%. That will more than take him to the end of the race.
Cool.
And yeah, it's about that 30% mark that it's.
Now all eyes on the people up in the loop. Now Aidan's blinked. Who's going to blink next of top 10?
Alfie Bevan is trying to get past Frank Vevick, who was not defending, but was in a fight there and has backed out of it to let Alfie through.
Alfie's going for another lap.
He's got 25% virtual energy rate, so he's got the freedom to do it, provided he knows the figure that he's putting in.
Yeah.
And the car will be nice and light and nice and
Racing.
warmed up. So it might just benefit him to keep going. Run. You can go, provided he knows that he crosses the line with more than 3% energy left, going to make the pits.
Yeah.
You just got to keep an eye on that VE load and best, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's jump back down to the lower top 10 as there are some battles. Massive fizz again on the back of Ben Brown for position. Both these drivers have yet to stop. I do believe, let's just get that double checked on my end, and yeah, that's correct. Everyone in the top 10, currently top 10, is yet to make a pit stop. So as you said, they could go as late as they can in a race, use up all the virtual energy, but it's a matter of when. No, we'll need to pit, it's just a matter of when.
Matt Townsend in the pits, that looked like a long stop. He was sat there with 60% virtual energy on the dash for quite a while there.
Well, he's coming down the pit exit now. Indeed gets going once more.
He might have had a moment where he wasn't sure. Oh, but it is getting spicy up in the top end of the order. And Scotty right on the just over a second back from Anton Semenga now.
Yeah, absolutely. What are they going to do? Is Scotty all hugging the inside line? Is it going to be a pit stop? It is. Next to go for the pit lane.
Not sure Scotty got on the limiter in time there.
I was just thinking that myself. That finds the pit box. Has rolled back a little bit, overshoots. Oh, and their dashboard turns off as well as they're in the pits. On the jacks, that's a short stop.
Yep, 53% VE. Well, you've got a couple of laps extra, so that will be about right to get them to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Carter pitting out. He's not going to be challenging that position, I think. The fuel saving they tried to do, if they did try to fuel save, it's not really worked. They're not going to jump. Who just pitted? It was Scotty. Oh yeah, but in the end.
They were a long way off. I think what Aiden's looking to do is consolidate that P they were in.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What he needs to do really right now is clear Tom Toseland and the fellow Corvette.
Yeah, that's going to be easier said than done. Tom, a hearty racer he is, bless him. He does. He just gets out of the way. As big an up there, I think he's going to definitely fight, but no, fine.
He's not really fighting for position,
no,
so better to let him go. Let Aiden go and just concentrate on his own race.
Yeah, pretty much. That's probably going to be the best for him to do, to be fair. As we jump down to 6th and 5th for Ferrari. You have Le Mans on this game. And there's history there at that circuit between these two iconic brands. But now...
Absolutely. It's... Gotta love a bit of Ferrari on Ford action.
And all the Ford goes before I think about look at the inside. He clips the curb, he's going to go around.
Oh no.
Oh, he's tried
they've largely got away with it.
They've tried to poke their nose into a gap that maybe wasn't quite there.
Yeah, the sausage curbs are still there on turns 1 and 2. That's a triple header corner there. And that will it will make the car go nope and try and launch itself into the stratosphere.
Yep, absolutely. There's the yellow flag, so I'm trying to figure out where that yellow flag is. I can't see anyone dropping down the order. As immediately cleared.
My guess is someone leaving the pits. In
Oh.
fact, it might be Tom Toven going into.
Go into, yes. So that's going to be Aidan Carter getting past, clearing a car and not having to fight for it. Indeed, Tom Toven is in his pit box as we speak. He's taking his pit stop and drop down the order down to the tail end of the grid. David Wood, however, P8, P7, Ferrari versus Ferrari. And it's going to look a bit like a fun battle here for them both.
They are right on top of each other as they head down through the last couple of corners there.
Also to note, Temenga P3 in the pits, making their pit stop just over 22 minutes ago. They now drop back down into a more relative position that they once were in.
16% VE. I wonder if Alfie's just going to try and out everyone on the pit stops. He's got 13% left. So that's 3 more laps-ish, maybe 4.
Get the gap on everyone and just wait for everyone else to blink, and then if he needs to do so, he needs to do so, but...
I mean, he's definitely going to have to pit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
At the rate he's going to have the gap over everyone to do a pit stop and come out still miles ahead. The rate he's going, he'll probably change tyres as well, which... Well, it's 12 seconds for all 4 tyres, plus the time fueling, because it's order of action, so you have to do one after the other. You can't do them all at one.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you take the tyres, you need tyres.
Who was behind him? It was Temenga, wasn't it? Temenga's 30 seconds off. He won't need tyres. He might want some.
There's a Ferrari. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dave Wood almost tried to look at the inside. Get the over-under going through that double right-hander in the final sector.
Wow, Aidan Carter has undercut Temenga.
He has. By sizable gap as well, almost by 9 seconds. Ooh. That's groovy. That's going to be up to net 5th for Aidan.
Well, that's up to net 3rd.
Ooh. Okay, that might work in his favour.
Not far off Scotty, who was in who would have been in P3 when they came in, but Temenga was in P2. If Aidan can chase... I mean, Aidan has got his tyres back up to temperature, and he's got just enough of a fuel advantage to be able to go to the end without any major issues. Dave Wood and Charlie Morgan in the pits.
That's going to be another tick in the box for Aidan.
So they're working their way back through there. I'm not sure Aidan's on for the win because Alfie doing something spectacular out there. But
it'll be a question of best of the rest, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he could get up into 2nd here.
Well, it is very much on the cards for him. Everyone else in front of him still needs to stop.
That's
yeah, I'm just trying to work it out myself.
Yeah, Alfie goes past Zach Silver, who was having a little bit of a connection twitch there.
Oh dear.
Alfie on 6.7% energy, so we can do this lap, and then he's going to have to come in.
We're going to see like all the top 6 basically come in, or top 7 all at the same time.
And Alfie's stretching that gap over Andrea Malvone, who is also going to have to, realistically, is going to have to come in as well. He's on 8.2% virtual energy.
At the end of this lap, he's just started another.
Yeah.
So it's D-Day for everyone, leaving it to the right, last moment. And I think we'll see a flurry of cars coming in, or P7's in. That's Baskar electing to go a lap earlier than the cars ahead and potentially just not use up all the virtual energy as another car in the pits as well.
That's Frank Levick in the
yep, indeed it is.
finishing their pit stop, coming out in 21st place.
Yep.
Yeah, it's well clear of Dean Smith.
Cool.
Looking up and down, I think everyone has pitted except Alfie and Malvone. Let's see how much fuel Alfie has got.
Is everyone 6 to
4.7.
6 to first, yet to pit. The top 6. Yeah, Alfie's going to have to pit this lap, basically.
Yeah,
Indeed
there
he
he
does.
goes. He is in to the pits. Gets on the limiter.
And I think Andrea Malvone will follow suit as well.
Yeah, surely he's got...
No.
No, he continues. He's got the margin to do it. He's at 5.1%. It's going to be 5% energy dead as they go across the line.
Ooh.
That's enough. It's 3%
Okay.
for a lap, give or take. He can do one more lap and then he will have to come in. Peter Jelinek continues. He's fuel saved. He's at 6.7%.
Ooh. So, Fusco Manders comes into the pits as well. Ben Brown doesn't. He's going to go out for another lap.
Yeah, he's got margin as well. He's got 2 laps margin there.
Oh, wow.
I don't think he's going to set such a fast lap now that he's going to stretch that out. But
If he's coming to the pits, he'll be on cold tyres, mind you. And so it'll be taking a little while to get some heat into him. But saying that, everyone else has to go through the same pain as well. So,
yeah. It is Scotty in net P2. Aidan Carter in net P3, 5 seconds off.
Wowie, wowie, wow.
Has that gap gotten bigger, or is it me? Between Scotty and Aidan Carter? Possibly.
4.1 seconds. 4.0. Ever so slightly. Scotty and Andrew Scott and Aidan Carter, do you mean, sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, gap's closing. Well, as I said, Scotty's still probably in cold tyres a little bit, so... but we say that Andrew Malvone comes to the pits and pretty much expected, but I do think Alfie's just got the net race lead here.
Up the inside, Dean Smith dives for the pits. Had the margin to do another lap, it would have been very close. Ben Brown continues. He has got the margin.
Okay.
3.9% as he goes across the line, so he will have just under 1% of virtual energy when he comes in.
Also, in the lead, we can actually say tonight that Ben Brown's in the lead. I think he'll be pretty chuffed with that.
Yeah, he's got the pace to try and stretch that gap over the guys he was racing, which is the main goal.
Townsend and Manders, isn't it, really? 7 and 8.
Exactly. He's not going to hold on to this lead. He's 7 seconds.
Oh god, goodness gracious, no.
But if he keeps pushing, he can get clear of Townsend and Manders and get that fuel into the car. Ben does a lot of enduros. He knows how to fuel goes into the cars.
Yes, indeed. Malvone's come back out on circuit, and the gap between him and Carter is 3.0 seconds.
But he's slotted in right behind Scotty.
As well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So he's going to be on cold tyres, and that's a Corvette, not the most cooperative car when it's not up to temperature.
No, not at all, not the slightest.
Not the most cooperative car the rest of the time, but you can try and you can get people who get a hang on it, but it is not an easy car to run.
No, not in the slightest. So, Malvone, I think, will hold on to that 4th position. Carter will maybe come knocking, but at the minute not close enough to make an effort. But Ben Brown now does come into the pits. And it's going to be Alfie Bevan that takes the race lead as suspected. And then it'll be Slotty for PT.
Well, indeed, and they are in a big old fight now. Alfie did lose a little bit of time through the pits, but it was time he had going spare.
No, exactly.
He's lost about 6-7 seconds through the pits.
Yeah, absolutely. And Aidan Carter, when we thought he would potentially go up to P3,
he might have done a couple of tyres.
Yeah.
With that margin.
And that is pit stop done and dusted, and now it is just a bit of a sprint race, really. Last 12 minutes ago, everyone's sorted themselves out, and there was a battle there for P11 and P10. That was Alan Axon getting a move done. Let's just see if we can get a replay of that very quickly. Yes, we can. Yeah. Nice. Yep. I definitely did too long of a replay here to show you an overtake for the 10th position, but we'll just quickly see Alan Axon going down the main start finish straight. I think there's a car going slowly, going wide potentially, and recovering. And then, yeah. Yeah, indeed. Oh, that's a lag moment if I've ever seen one. Maybe I'll catch it on stream then. As Alex did make the move.
I'd say, yeah, that's
yeah. Well, Petr Jack, I think, actually made a mistake.
That's one way to take a corner. A bit of a drift.
I think Petr Jack actually made a mistake going through the final corner there and had to recover. It gave away P10 to Alan there. We'll go back up to Fusco and Wood because they're getting quite close to. But yes, as you were saying, the undercut's working well around here, especially for Carter and Brown. But yeah, a shame for Temenga all the way down in 15th position.
Yeah, it has been. I love it how they've managed to make strategy and on-track action work in this race. There is great fighting. There is still great fighting going on there because Aidan Carter is on warmed-up tyres at this point. Is closing down Aldrea
Is indeed. Fusken and Dave Wood relatively quite close as well, and Luke Mendes is also coming into this battle as well, the three-way battle. For 7th, 8th and 9th respectively.
Yep, definitely some incipient Corvette on Corvette violence going on here. But there's a trio of Ferrari. It looks like a Ferrari Cup going on here.
It does a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. Nick Manders tried desperately to hold off Matthias Husken and Dave Wood.
He's been praying, please don't fight with me, you two. Go and fight between yourselves. Leave me out of it. But I don't think that's going to happen as Fusken and Wood look to be closing that gap onto him, and his want for them to fight is, I think, going to involve him as well, sadly. So we'll see what happens. Another there's another 9 minutes to go, should I say. Aidan Carter, however, coming up last for that 145.9, 146 dead. For Malvone. Carter definitely closing that gap, and it is very much closing that gap. You can see as they get onto the brakes going into turn 3 up into turn 4.
He has closed up in a big way, has Aidan. Just about 6/10 off there. Looks so much more confident on the brakes there in that Corvette.
Yeah. Yeah, big time. See the closing of the gap as he gets onto the brakes. It just looks so much more confident. The car ahead of him actually has a little bit of a twitch, does Malvone, going into a double right-hander, and it has a wobble. To be fair, both cars have a bit of a wobble on acceleration.
Yeah, I mean, the Corvette just wobbles at any given opportunity. Great looking car, but it drives as sketchily as you'll ever like.
Glorious.
and it's incredibly nimble, but it is really temperamental. But
Yeah,
these
absolutely.
two both seem to have a handle on it. As Aiden closing up bit by bit, though.
It took us up to Scotty as well. I think Scotty just had a back marker like BMW caught him out a little bit.
Yeah,
The gap's
that's
closed a
Dean
little. It's Dean Smith again, isn't
Smith
it?
in the BMW. If Aiden gets his line right here, he will be right in Melbourne Dream as they come down the hill. And he is right there. He is right on the back of that fellow Corvette. You're not going to get a proper slipstream off a car exactly the same shape as you.
You've got the BMW as well helping him, pulling him along as well. So that's not going to help his cause. And we'll have to stay put just for another lap at the very least.
Tucks in behind. Is he going to try down into the hairpin?
We'll find out on due course. And it had a good run.
He is close enough here. You'll have to make a big old dive of it.
Oh,
Not there this
he
time.
thinks about it.
Yeah.
A good little jerk out to the left.
Some psychological warfare on the go there. He's just showing the nose and making sure Malbone knows he's there. For P3 overall. Podiums are not easy to come by in this championship, and you want to get a little bit more there. Gets on the paint, come as they dive down through Craig Jones. Into Portimao corner, Aiden goes wide, tries for the cutback.
He does, and Malvern has a bit of a wobble as well. Dave Wood also getting incredibly close. Matthews Fizz going for position, and keeping an eye on that as well. We may just briefly jump to that in a few moments' time just to see how they're fighting, but however these Corvettes are the centre of attention as of right now. There's a bit of a Ferrari train, instead of 8th and 9th, but the battle for essentially best of the rest.
Who's going to get the better run off the long downhill sweeper? It's Malvone.
Yeah.
Finds the better line, pushes out, extends the gap by a couple of car lengths, and that's all he needs to defend. Dave Wood's round.
Is he? Where is he? No, is he?
He was off the track at turn 13 and has dropped off the back of Fusco and Manders, who continue the fight.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's see if I can make this work. We'll get a replay. I have to just wait for it to load. Indeed, there we go. There we are, following Dave Woods. Move up the inside ahead of him. Gets on the grass a little bit, puts his foot down. The Ferrari's up ahead of him, are fighting away. Knows the tail. Oh, that's it. It's just himself and him. Almost makes contact.
Yeah, the traction just broke there and there was nothing to...
No, absolutely nothing to do about that. The Ferraris are fighting away, and Aidan Carter as well, still trying to fight away for this P3 position. Mustangs versus Mustang, Ferraris versus Ferraris. We'll stick with the yellow and black cars of the Mustang. Not Mustangs, Chevrolets, should I say.
God, man, fighting off at every attempt here, slamming doors like he's in a zombie apocalypse. Just leaving no inch for Aiden Carter to get through.
It's been 61 minutes of this 65-minute race done and completed, and it's going to go down to the last couple of laps.
I've just had such a good run down Al's corner.
It does. I'm not sure if that's something they've done in their own setup. It is open setups, reminding everyone for this championship, so you can tweak around with LMU setups if you so desire to. So maybe finding something that gives a bit more traction out the corners and just keeping him alive, especially going down into that final turn, down the hill onto the start-finish straight.
Both of them on the same amount of virtual energy. There is so they have got more than enough to bring to the end. Aiden right underneath the rear wing. Malone defends.
Nice.
Aiden goes to the inside.
Inside move down to turn 5.
And gets it done.
Oh.
Finally, a dive bomb to well, some call it a dive, what I call it an overtaking move, goes up to makes a last minute outbreaking move to the inside, gets through.
Well, let's go to a replay and just see that on board. There it goes, defensive. Last minute dart to left. Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Someone's a bit more to the left.
Yep, and he's going to get the gap in behind. That's a lapped car. I thought that was a battle there for P4, but that's just a lapped car getting out of the way. So that's done and dusted for, I'd say, for P3.
3 off Scotty. That's a big ask. It's going to be 2 more laps, is my guess.
Yes, something's going to have to happen just with Scotty getting caught up in back markers or something of that nature. The Ferrari battle we did have in the midfield has calmed down a little bit, 7th and 8th. Still fighting away for Skin, still behind Manders here for position, but it's not quite done yet. But Dave Wood now about 2.5 seconds off after his inadvertent spin, and I think he'll be kicking himself, really. But that's what it is. I think he'll be happy with P9. Keeps it pointing in the right direction. He'll be absolutely fine.
I got very confused there because Andy Hurd and Andrew Scotty are in the same livery. I thought custom liveries can get here any time now.
It can indeed, and it's an over-under move for Buskar going through turn 1. The Ferrari ahead of him. David took way too much going into turn 1. Bonnie hops it and he gets it up the inside of the turn. However, Dave not letting it go. Oh, sorry, that's I stand corrected. That is Alan Axon, should I say. He's now going to have another look up the inside of the hairpin, thinks better of it.
The Ferrari does seem to lack a little bit of straight lines, and the McLaren makes it a lot of it up through the corners, but just really struggling in those acceleration zones.
Is indeed from the Ferrari battle between Fusco and Amanda still heating up. Goes up to the middle sector circuit. Oh, Matthias thinks about making a move up the inside, but Amanda's making it clear that he's not going to get it done there. Puts his car right where he wanted to best defend the corner and keeps Matthias behind for now. Over under, tries to get a better run through those corners as Matthias goes down to the penultimate turn. It's going to be a matter who gets a better run going down the final corner downhill on the right-hander.
They're going to... Oh, and I think Nick has had a little better run there. Takes a couple of car lengths. It's not much, but it's all you need to defend against the stream.
Yep, absolutely. So Matthews is going to stay put for now and will maybe have to think about getting creative in this last lap. What is fantastic is IRS0123 has joined and followed the community. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. You've missed it. You've missed the whole race. But do feel free to watch it back once the stream has ended. It will be on Twitch, and I do believe it will then be uploaded to our YouTube channel as well for your viewing pleasure.
Seems to be. It takes a little. That comes through a little bit later, but it's all looking good over there. These leaders are now having to negotiate traffic to get through. I think Angela Scotti might have held on to the for P2.
I think so as well, as we follow Alfie going down through the final 10. It'll be the checkered flag for round 4 here at Portimao. It's going to be Alfie Bevan taking the race win. And a very good wobble across the line as well. Ben_Cisco has joined the Twitch as well. Thank you very much. Welcome, and thank you for the support. And Alfie gives us the celebratory donuts. It'll then be Angela Scott for P2, Aidan Carter for P3, and a good recovery drive there for Aidan, getting the undercut and getting the move done for the P3 position.
They were down at P7 for a good portion of that race. Made the undercut work to come through and take the podium.
It did indeed, and it's going to be the Commanders holding off Frisken the 7th and 8th respectively. And what could it be between these two? What could it be for Dave Wood? He was part of this battle as well, but the flash of lights across the line, they're both weaving, is Manders and Frisken celebrating a hard-fought battle between both, and Dave Wood picking up the pieces after a spin, not losing anything more than he needed. But P9 is going to be for Dave Wood, P10 for Buscar as well. Axon will be 11th, so some donuts on the first couple of corners, of course. Toes, we've already seen the checkered flag has returned to the pits already.
I'll be right in chat. Note to self, remember to change to the race setup at the start instead of staying on the quali one. Yeah, we've done that one. We've all done that one.
Yeah, all done that. And Zach Silver takes the checkered flag as well, goes and completely dives from turns 1. Doesn't even think of braking and decides to chuck his car into the kitty litter. And that, folks, I believe, is that. I will see if I can get the finishing orders, or if yes, I've got to work it out. Hold on a minute. There we go. Click there, and then click there. We should have the finishing results. Alfie Bevan takes the win after 37 laps, substantial gap to P2 of Angela Scott. Aidan Carter, an undercut of a race, sees him in 3rd with Andrea Malvone in 4th, Ben Brown 5th, Matt Townsend 6th, Amanda 7th, Frisken 8th, Wood 9th, and Buscar in 10th, and then go down to 11th, Alan Axon, Anton Tamenga. What could have been top front runner? Obviously had an incident, we didn't quite see what it was. Drops down to 12th on this occasion. Morgan 13th, Doric 14th, Silver 15th, Jonek 16th, Tomlinson 17th, Toseland 18th, Hearn 19th, Tyler Hammer 20th, Tomlinson being the first of the cars to finish the lap down. We did have some DNFs, but first it is Frank Vivek, Dean Smith, then Jarrett Page being the final classified finisher. Sadly, 4 DNFs, Bloomquist, Downing, Cotty and Bob, and a disqualification for James Lee Pavo. And that, folks, is that all done and dusted. Oh.
What a race! That's what this championship has been turning up really good, right? And I think we're all looking forward to where it goes, which is to. Bear with me. Next week we are off to Spa.
Spa Francorchamps.
We always love it. It's always it's a classic race.
It is indeed, and it has been a fantastic season 3 so far, with some fantastic racing throughout the season. Monday nights will be hopefully hosted by Johnny Ashley, returning next week, all being well, after what has been an unplanned what's the word? Unplanned absence. There we go. What's that? Unplanned vacancy. I knew that wasn't the right word. Unplanned absence this week. We hope to see him back next week, but all being well, he will be. But if not, I'm happy to very much jump back in on Monday night. Hopefully on Monday if needs to be. But either one of us will be back. We need a stream for Spa Francorchamps for the GT3 Festival tomorrow. They're back with AC, the JCW Minis. So myself and Scotty will take you through to the stream for the mini racing there. What circuit are we at there?
We are at Goodwood.
At Goodwood, of course we are. Of course we're at Goodwood. Looking forward to that one. Wednesday we are back for the SimHound Academy Amateurs. I can never remember what it's called. I'm racing the thing. And we'll be back now on a Wednesday night, and we think we're going to. Oh goodness, I'm drawing a blank this week. We'll be back there. Well, I'm going to trust them.
Was this Wednesday?
It is Wednesday, yes.
Spa. We will be back to
Spa, and again Spa for another LMU stream for Spa. One Wednesday, a little precursor for the Monday next week. Thursday is as we see the cars on stream now, is the oNiD for Championship, and we are off 2, and again I should know this, Ben, help me out on this one.
Oh lord, I've just turned off my SimGrid window. But
Ah.
a second.
It will be myself bringing the stream back again from a week's break. Thank you, Ben, Ben22 Racing, for covering last week. Very much appreciated. We did have Sutterton last week, I know that. And we are
the
2.
British F4 is going to Thruxton.
Oh, off to Thruxton on Thursday night. Thruxton Thursday, a bit of alliteration. I'm going to definitely use that on Thursday. And Sunday for the oNiD 100 series. We're back on LMU once more.
The 100 is going to, in a change because they shifted when the DLC was coming out, it will be going to Imola.
Over to Imola for the 100 series, and that again will be streamed one from our team here on oNiD, Tom Toes and Sam Grant, if I recall correctly. They'll both bring you all the action, and hopefully with a special guest as well. Watch this space. That's all for this week, however, and it's been a pleasure, Ben, to be back in the comments booth with you. How did you find that race tonight? That was interesting.
Great little race, great piece of racing from all these guys. We love watching these GT3 cars do the business around this. So it's been great all season. So we look forward to seeing what they can do next week.
And until then, folks, take care. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Monday's out of the way with folks. It's the worst day, and it can only get better from here. Take care. Have a wonderful week, and we'll speak to you all and see you all hopefully very, very soon. Take care. Good night.